Hello everybody and welcome back to Out of Body. My name is Sabrina and today I'm going to be talking about probably the most asked question that I get on this channel and in the Facebook groups that I'm in. Is there any danger to astral projection? So real quickly, I wanted to say that this is a collab with another fellow YouTuber on here. This is my first official collab. The other YouTuber's name is Sydney Wells. And she just started her channel about a week or two ago, I think. She's got a few videos on there. She talks about very similar things that I talk about on this channel. So she talks about out-of-body experiences, astral projection. She talks about a little bit of paranormal stuff, which I'm going to be getting more into next month. So yeah, please show her some love. She just started her channel. She's got a lot of potential. Check out her video as well. I will have it linked up here in the cards, and I will also have it linked down below so you can check out her video. She is doing a video on how to astral project. If you're wanting to know more about how to achieve astral projection, then definitely check out her video. So today I'm going to be addressing the question, are there any real dangers with astral projection? A ton of people ask this, a ton of people search about this. I've seen so many people ask it in forums and Facebook groups and things like that. I've had some people ask me, or some people comment on my videos about astral projection, say hey, what if this happens, or can this happen, or I'm afraid because of this and this. I try to encourage them. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the typical fears, and I will say along with that, myths that are associated with astral projection as far as danger. The first of those, which is one of the main ones I hear, is people afraid of getting lost. So when you're in an astral projection experience and your spirit leaves your body, people are afraid that they will either venture out too far and get lost, or just lose their tracking, not know where they are, and won't be able to return back to their body. That is definitely a myth. That is not true. That will not happen to you. Yes, you can feel lost. Yes, you can venture out far enough to where you're not sure how to get back. But the number one rule to remember in that situation is all you have to do is just think about your physical body. Think about going home, think about going back to earth, back to the physical realm, back to your bedroom, whatever helps you. Think about that. I find that just thinking about my body and going back to my body is what works for me, and I just snap right back no matter where I am. The other thing that will help with that, which I will address more later, is just making sure that you're in tune with your guides, your spirit guides, or angels, whatever you want to call them, but the beings that are always there with you, always guiding you, make sure that you're in tune with them, that you, before you astral project, that you ask them to guide you and to help you along your way so that you don't get lost. The second fear, and I will say myth again, that I've heard is, will my body become possessed when I astral project? So in other words, when my spirit leaves my body, is my body, my physical body, then susceptible to being possessed by demons or ghosts or whatever? Now with what I'm about to say, if you have never heard of this before, or if you haven't seen, if you haven't seen my video along the topic of our spirits leaving our bodies every night while we sleep, regardless of astral projection or anything like that, I will just link that up here. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I would say click out of this real quick and watch that so you know what I'm talking about. But basically, our spirits leave our bodies every night when we sleep, regardless of what we dream about, regardless of lucid dreaming, regardless of astral projection, out-of-body experiences. Our soul leaves our body anyway. It doesn't always venture out to other realms, it may, but sometimes it may just linger in the room or kind of float above your body, but your spirit leaves your body when you sleep no matter what, because that is actually part of the purpose of sleep, is for your soul to get rest and your soul to leave your body and have some time away from it, free and without being in the confines of the physical realm. So with that being said, when you're astral projecting, what you're actually doing is projecting your consciousness along with your spirit. So your spirit's going to leave anyway. The only difference with astral projection is that you're awake for it consciously, and your consciousness goes with it. So that's basically what that is. So your spirit's going to leave your body anyway. So with that being said, you're not any more susceptible to being possessed than you would be on any normal night. Now, with that being said, personally, I do not believe that you can be possessed while you sleep. I really just don't think that's possible. For the first reason being that if anything did try to come towards your body or try to do anything to your body, that your soul is connected with a silver cord, and your soul gets signals from your body anytime like that you need to wake up. So like if your body starts to have trouble breathing, or if you start to cough, or if you need to turn over, that your soul gets that signal and then snaps back to your body, and that's when you wake up. So if anything was trying to harm your body, your soul would get that signal and snap back. So there's, in my opinion, no way that could happen. Just because your soul is out of your body doesn't mean that someone else can enter it, basically, because they may try, I will say that. But that's nothing to be afraid of. You wouldn't be aware of it. Nothing bad can happen to you in that instance. So the next fear that a lot of people express is when you're out of your body, is it possible to break the silver cord? Like, could you venture off far enough to where you break and sever the silver cord that connects your soul to your body to where you would then die? Or people also ask, is it possible for you to die in any way, shape, or form because of astral projection or during astral projection? The answer to that is you are no more susceptible to death while astral projection than you are when you're just sleeping. Like I said before, when you're asleep, your soul leaves your body anyway. When you're astral projecting, there's really no further risk with that. I mean, the only way you could die is if, you naturally had a heart attack or stroke or, I don't know, anything like that can happen to people that die in their sleep. Astral projection is not going to cause death. So another fear that a lot of people have is when they astral project, or even people who haven't done it yet, they're just afraid to do it because they're afraid of what they might find on the other side, if you get what I'm saying. Like, they're afraid of what kind of entities they might run into, anything like that. And that, I feel, is a general concern. It makes sense. Personally, I believe this anyway because I've experienced it. There are dark entities out there. There are malicious entities out there that are not out to help you. They're out to be malicious and to try to scare you. So yes, those things do exist. But the important thing to note on that is that nothing out there can really hurt you or harm you. Nothing out there is going to get you or send you somewhere into the darkness where you'll never come back. Like that, no, that's not going to happen. Again, your consciousness, everything is connected to your body via the silver cord. So if you do come across anything like that, anything negative or low vibrations, the important thing to note there is to just think of being somewhere else, being away from that being or entity or wherever you've ended up, and just think about your body going back home. Or if you would rather stay out of your body but just go somewhere else a little bit better, just think of like your happy place, or just imagine a place that you would want to go to, if that's like heaven or just a place of good and of good beings and beings of light and love. Just think about those things and you will immediately be redirected. You will be taken away from that, because during astral projection you are in complete control of what's going on. In fact, a lot of people argue that if you come across anything dark, that it is actually something that you created out of your mind because either you were curious about it or you were scared of it. Personally, I think, that could be part of it, but I do believe that there are dark entities out there, like there just are, but it's really nothing to be afraid of. You don't have to stay in their presence. You can go away, you can go somewhere else, you can go back to your body, whatever. That you don't have to stay in that situation. You're not stuck there. A lot of times what they're actually trying to do when they're trying to scare you is they're trying to scare you back into your body, because they don't want you to know all the things that you can know and discover about the universe went out of your body. They don't want you to discover those things. They want you to be scared and to go back into your body. So that's personally what I think as far as the reasoning because of what I've experienced. Okay, so the last fear that I have heard people talk about is they're afraid that if they leave their body, that they may not only venture out too far, but they may be away from their body too long, and their body may actually die, or the silver cord will sever. Once again, like I said earlier, if you do venture out, too far, or, you're away for a long time, in your body will signal to your spirit that it is time to come back. I mean, that's why most of us don't sleep more than like 9 or 10 hours. If it was possible to stay away from your body too long and your body to die, then there would be people sleeping like 24 hours and 48 hours and not waking up at all. I mean, that's just not the case. That doesn't really happen. So yeah, your body will signal to your spirit when it's time to come back, and your spirit will snap back. And you'll know what I'm talking about once you experience that if you haven't yet. The other thing I will say on that is that when your spirit leaves your body, and especially when you go into the spiritual realms, when you're out of the physical realm, you are no longer bound by time. You may have heard before that a lot of scientists that have studied dreams and the dreaming state, the REM, rapid eye movement state of sleep. So a lot of scientists will say that the average dream only lasts about 2 to 3 minutes, is what I've heard. But a lot of times when you wake up from a dream, you feel like you've been dreaming all night, or that you've been dreaming for like an hour, or it lasted like, hours in the night. But in reality, it probably only lasted a few minutes, because your brain can process a lot of information all at once. So your soul may have been out of your body, out of the realm of time, and so it felt like you were away for a really, really, really long time, but then you come back to your body and you've only been gone a few minutes. Now, Robert Monroe, I've mentioned him before on this channel. In his books, he has 3 books. The first one, Journeys Out of the Body. I'm not sure if it's that one or if it's in his second or third book, but he talks about a few instances where he actually looked at the time before he laid down to have an astral projection experience. He looked at the time to see what time it was and documented it. And then when he came back to his body and woke up, he got up, looked at the time, and many times he felt like he had been gone hours and hours or even days. And then he comes back to his body and looks at the time, and it's only been like 10 minutes, 20 minutes or something like that. There really is no realm of time that you could be away too long. Again, with that being said, Robert Monroe did have an experience where he was away from his body for a very long time, long enough to where his body actually did start to shut down. But before that started to happen, he started getting signals and he kept ignoring them. So that was kind of on him for that. And his spirit guides kept warning him, like, you need to go back, you need to go back. He didn't want to go back. He wanted to find out more information from this particular spirit that he was talking to. But he kept telling him, like, you're going to have to go back now, or else you're going to die. Your body is shutting down. You've been away way too long. The spirit basically tells him, like, I mean, if you want to stay here longer, I mean, you can stay and stay forever, or you can go back to your body and come back another time. You can finish out your life. You have a lot left to do in your life. Or, if you want to stay here, you can. But long story short, he decides to go back to his body. But when he does, his body is very stiff and very cold. And so it takes him a while to actually kind of recoup from that. So that is a little bit scary. But again, like I said, your soul gets communication and alerts, if you will, notifications from your body. So your body will let you know when it's time to come back, and just listen to that and do it, and a lot of the times you don't even have a choice. You just snap back anyway. Since he was pretty much an expert at that point, astral projection, he had done it so many times, he was in so much control over the experience that he was able to just, ignore it. But most people, like me, When I get that alert from my body, like, I don't have a choice. I just snap back, you know, like a lot of times it happens just before I even realize it. I've snapped back, you know. Being away from your body too long, dying during astral projection is completely a myth. It's not something that can realistically happen to you. So I just encourage you guys, please do not have fear with that. Now, the next thing I'm going to go into is the actual dangers that can happen to you during astral projection. Now, most of these aren't any real dangers. It's just mostly, you know, things that can happen to your body over time if you try too hard with astral projection. So I will go over those now. The first one being lack of mental rest. And lack of physical rest. So you can experience a lot of mental and physical fatigue if you practice astral projection a lot, especially like night after night after night. It's best to not do it every night, as far as what I've heard and what I've found in my own experiences. Typically, I will only try to do it maybe once or twice a week. But I mean, you could definitely try like every other night. You know, it kind of just depends on your body and your brain and how much of that you can handle. Because of the fact that you are awake during astral projection, that is why your brain becomes fatigued. You don't really get as good of a night's sleep because of that. So your body will be a little bit fatigued and your mind will be a little bit cloudy. So with that, you know, all things in moderation. Just, you know, don't try too hard. Don't stress yourself out over it. That's another thing that can happen, is you can just become very stressed out, which that can affect your health. So just try to relax, try not to stress out about it, keep practicing. I believe that everybody can achieve it. I don't think there's anybody on this earth that can't do it. You know, I feel like everybody can if they, you know, just give it some time and relax. The last thing I'm going to say as far as actual dangers, the only thing that I feel like could actually happen during astral projection is, you know, as far as coming across with a dark entity or an entity of lower vibrations, entities like that can attach themselves to you. Now, that is different than possession. That does not mean they possess your body and take over. That means they can kind of attach themselves to your spirit, and it doesn't hurt you at all, but they can kind of then become attached to you and kind of follow you around as you go about your life once you go back into your body. So that's the only thing I would say could be a potential danger. The way to avoid that, and honestly, I think it's very, very uncommon that even happens, but if that is a fear of yours, I can tell you exactly how to prevent that. The number one thing is intention, and I feel like intention is everything. I would say this also to someone who is going to be going on a paranormal investigation, or someone who is going to go, you know, hunting for ghosts and things like that. Your intention is everything. So if you don't want a ghost to follow you home or to attach themselves to you, it's the same thing with astral projection. You know, if you don't want something to come back with you, just make sure that your intentions are of light and love, and that you're not out to provoke anything or to find anything scary. You know, make sure that's not your intention. Make sure that you either say in your mind or out loud before you do astral projection that your intentions are to raise your consciousness and to talk with only spirits of light and love, or to just venture out by yourself and kind of just roam around the world. You know, whatever your intention is, but make sure you make that clear before you attempt astral projection. The second thing I would say you could do is to make sure that you are protected. Now, I believe everyone is protected by their spirit guides or their guardian angels, but just taking that extra step to communicate with your spirit guide, to pray to them, or whatever makes you feel comfortable. You know, if you just want to pray to the universe, or just even just imagining this like ring or just aura of light around you, this protective light that is surrounding you that nothing can penetrate, and just make that intention and imagine that around you, and make sure that your own vibrations are high and that your mind is balanced and cleared, and that, or if you're praying to the universe or to the spirit guides or to God, you know, just, pray to them and let them know, like, hey, I'm going to try astral projection. I really want to be protected. I don't want to come across anything dark or of low vibrations or anything like that. I want to have a good experience. This is what I want to experience. And just, ask them for protection. That's really all you have to do. It's not, and again, like I said, they'll protect you anyway, but, taking this step will ensure it, and it will also make you feel better about it. I know it makes me feel better about it. It makes me feel more comfortable before I do it. It makes me feel like, okay, now I'm ready. Now I can do it. So hopefully that helps you. I hope that this clears up most of the questions and concerns that people have with astral projection. If not, if there's anything I left out, please comment below. I love to read your guys' comments and your questions. I absolutely love that when you ask me questions, because I really love just helping you guys and helping anyone who's afraid or has concerns about this, because it's understandable. I mean, it's kind of an unknown thing in our society here in the States especially. So yeah, I mean, there's no stupid question. There's nothing that you could ask that I would be like, what? I mean, just ask away. And once again, please check out Sydney Wells's video. I will link it down below. And check out her channel. Show her some love. If you want to know more about how to astral project, she will be talking about that. So go watch her video, and I will see you guys at the 1st of October for my first video of 31 days of October. Well, I will be doing a video every day along the topic of anything creepy or scary or Halloween related, so stay tuned for that. I apologize that my channel has been kind of vacant lately. It's because I've been preparing for that. I wanted to give you guys uploads every single day of October, so I'm excited for that. So anyway, until then, I will see you in October. Bye.